Hi guys, how you doing? That's us back training. I just thought I'd do a wee short video again. First session back after the tour break there was brilliant. I hope you enjoyed it. Sort of changed the setup slightly, so obviously there was two quite distinct sections there. A section, half the session, just in 3 foundational big strength compound lifts, or lifts slash chin up row. And it was obviously done really well. Like I mentioned at the class, the goal of those sort of sections with those sort of exercises isn't to race around it as quickly as you can, getting as much done as possible. It's about, if anything, the extra time is given for rest. So the rest between sets essentially is what helps determine the intensity. So if you were to take that to extremes, maybe like a sprinter. So if a sprinter is doing maximum speed training, they would take, now this is going to sound ludicrous to anyone who doesn't train speed work, they would take approximately 1 minute of rest for every 10 metres of sprint distance. So for example, if they did a 60-metre sprint, maximum all-out effort, they would take 5 or 6 minutes rest in between sets. So, and that is because the rest dictates the intensity. So that allows them full recovery in between sets to allow them to reach maximum speed. As soon as they were to drop the recovery, maybe take 2 minutes rest, that no longer is a max velocity workout. It becomes a speed endurance workout. So obviously we're not going to do anything like that because we don't have the time for a start and it would be unnecessary. But it's important that you remember that. It's the same with, at the end of the day, the fitness world has borrowed everything it's ever brought into the fitness world. It's ultimately borrowed it from other areas, sports science and strength and conditioning. And for example, you hear the term HIIT training a lot, but ultimately, like HIIT training, high intensity interval training, no one, I don't think, really understands or has the concept explained to them. So interval training to most folk would be, right, we're going to do interval training, so we're going to do 30 seconds of work and 30 seconds stop, recovery, blah, 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 whatever it might be. But interval training, by definition, the interval is the rest interval. And again, it's because it determines the intensity. So if you say to someone, like, we're going to do interval training, we're going to do, you should be saying what the work is you're doing, followed by the interval, that's the rest period. So 2 minute intervals, you're going to do 600 meter reps with 2 minute intervals. So the interval training is relating what are the rest, or it should be, because you're intervening. It's an interval, it's a rest. That's what, like, if you're, we're going to the interval break of whatever it is. So the interval is the rest, or it should be, but it's not. It's not, because the fitness industry's hijacked all these all these terms, and frustrates me sometimes. But anyway, there we go. I'm probably guilty of it myself, like using terms like loosely when they're not appropriate. But anyway, so that's the purpose of that, is to allow you to develop your maximum strength or close to it, which you can't do if you're not taking enough rest. So it's not about getting your heart rate up as much as you can. That's something different. It's about maximizing recovery, and that's because the primary energy system involved in maximum strength training is called the creatine phosphate system, and that it's responsible for producing a huge amount of energy in a very short space of time, but it also depletes very quickly as well. So because it depletes very quickly, it takes a bit more time to replenish it, and we know that it takes approximately 3 to 5 minutes to replenish it for another bout, minimum 3 to 5 minutes. So anyway, don't want to go into too much. That is not actually the intention of this video. It was firstly to say well done on that session, because I thought it was done really well. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to do a few more like that when there's 2 distinct sort of phases. Great turnout across all the classes. I think that mindset of this is a refresh button. So your job is to continue to attend and have that same attitude of, right, that's it, I'm back in it. Like week 2, week 3, week 4. You have to have that every week though, because it's the consistency that will reap the rewards. So I've had a few questions about, obviously a week tomorrow is when the sign-ups go live for the next block for the monthly payment systems. So just be aware of that. Jack will have it all up and running and ready for you. If you've got any questions about anything, let me know. The most common question I've been getting is what's going to be the difference between the different sessions on a Wednesday morning, a Friday night and a Sunday morning. So just to clarify again, for me, the Sunday is an opportunity to deliver a third strength and conditioning session most aligned with session A and session B. I'm not saying it's going to be identical, but like I said, it's going to give us the chance to put in exercises that we can't necessarily fit in session A and session B, because you've only got so much time, so much space, so much energy. So the Sunday will mimic most your sort of session A, session B. Friday night will remain a Hyrox, okay, and then the Wednesday, I know that people like that type of training as well that are coming on the Wednesday, so it will retain that sort of cardio focus element, but I'd also like to include some other exercises that are a bit more strength based in there. For example, maybe some bicep curls. I've got dumbbell push press in there at the moment, so things that are a bit more strength based, maybe some dumbbell snatches, a few exercises like that. I want to get involved some one-legged hip thrusts. These are wee examples in my head for the Wednesday morning, but by and large it will still be a sort of continuous circuit based idea. This morning and from now on in the Fridays, for anyone that's sort of wondering, should they try the Friday nights or the Wednesday mornings, for the next 3 or 4 weeks, the idea is that you're going to do the same workout every week, almost treat it like a race. And your job, for example, on Friday night there and this morning, there was eight exercises, and the guys were tasked with getting as many rounds done as they can in the 45 minutes. So for example, if they completed all 8 exercises 3 times, they've got to level 3. If they completed all 8 exercises twice, plus 5 of the 8 a third time, they will have got to level 2.5. So in other words, it gives you a chance to like specifically measure your fitness progress against the workout itself, against you. So like the idea is that over 3 or 4 weeks, you should see some sort of improvement. The same way if you were to do a 5k, you would hope to try and improve your 5k time. So this is the same idea with this. Instead of like improving the time, you're improving the volume of work you've done within the time. Okay, so that's the idea behind the Wednesday and the Friday. So it's probably quite a fun thing to do. If you've not tried it already, you're welcome to come and try a session. But really the idea is to give you a bit more accountability, a bit more competitiveness to the session. And it's you versus you basically when you do it. So that's the plan. I'm not sure if there's too many other questions that need answered right now. Keep in mind, I'm going to do something. One of the benefits of having my own place now exclusively is that I can add on sessions whenever I kind of want to, that I can. So obviously this block's due to finish around I think it's the 15th of December or something like that. I need to double check. So my plan though, after that, is for everyone that signs up for January, I'm going to put on some extra sessions between the end of the block and Christmas, and these will be charity based sessions. So what I mean by that is like I'm going to charge a really nominal small fee, like £2 a session, and it's going to get paid to a charity, and you can come in and just do the workout. So we've got Christmas workouts basically that will be as close to complimentary sessions as you're going to get, but I want to raise something for charity. So if you guys could obviously help do that by giving us some sort of contribution. So those sessions are going to get put on. I'm hoping to try and get with a sort of final one put on Christmas Eve. I quite like the thought of doing a Christmas Eve morning session, not evening obviously, but maybe an 8, a 9 and a 10, or a 9 and a 10 or something like that. So hopefully it'll be nice, it'll be a nice wee vibe, and it will be doing something positive as well for others. So anyway, that's the early plan. But those sessions, those complimentary sessions, of which I'll put on quite a few, they'll only be obviously available to anyone who's going to be doing the January block and beyond. Okay, so if there's any questions about anything though, just give me a shout, and I'll see you guys tomorrow or Friday. We're going to be doing trap bar deadlifts for the first time in a long time. If you've got any questions or issues specifically about trap bar deadlifts, then feel free to ask. Remember, the session, although it's a group format, you don't need to do every single exercise that's there. Okay, so and you can always find an alternative. So if you were coming to me for one-to-one PT and you said that every time you do trap bar deadlifts you get a really irritated back, no matter what you do, you can't seem to figure it out, then in that moment I would say, right, okay, that's fine, we won't do trap bar deadlifts, we'll do something else. This is what we'll do. So there's no reason why we can't do that within the group settings anyway. So you can make the session a bit more personalised to you. All you need to do is talk to me. That's the beauty, the fact that I know everyone and I know everyone's sort of history with training. You can tweak things quite easily, as long as you talk. So if you talk to me about something you're not quite comfortable with, just do it and we can fix it, or we can figure it out. And if we can't figure it out there and then, we just give you an alternative. That way you feel you're really getting the most out of each session. Anyway, that'll do. I'll speak to you soon.